To order the April 11th, 2023 Agricultural Commission meeting. I guess in the absence of not having to do all the Zoom disclaimers, we can just dive right into it. With the acceptance of the March minutes.
Did everybody get them at 3:30 this afternoon?
Yes. I make a motion, we accept the minutes as prepared by
Sorry
Laura.
about that.
Is there a motion second?
Second.
Second. All right.
Hey, Carl, do you want to sign one last minutes of the meeting?
No, I'm not. That's James. James's duty now.
All right. A motion to accept the March 2023 Agricultural
Second.
Commission meeting minutes. And a second. Is there any need to discuss the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask everyone to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. And so we can move on to the treasurer's report.
Sure. So the dust has not completely settled on all the money that we voted to move around last month, in part because I don't have pennies on some of the things. And the other thing that I noticed today is that we haven't gotten any ledger reconciliations from the accountant's office since January. So I can't verify everything, but we did get some money in, a couple more deposits, which I'll talk about in correspondence. And I'm trying to get to my available balances. So available funds in the donation account are $3,617.91. And if I've got everything right in the budget, after we process the rest of the stuff, there's still gonna be $193.05 for like electricity. That accounts for the spring compost, the 5 yards of loam, the weed whacker just came in here, but I still have it in outstanding, and some of the landscape cloth that the $97 for landscape
Yeah,
cloth.
I did purchase that.
Okay,
So that should be.
that's in here, okay.
Yeah, it's in there.
So I think we're down to $193.05 after all of that gets processed. It's just kinda hard to know right
Yeah,
now,
understood.
because everything's in such a state of flux. But we're well within budget, so. And we've got money in the donation account. That's all I have unless you have questions.
Make a motion, we accept the treasurer's report as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report as accepted. Is there any need to discuss the motion? All right, hearing none, I'll ask everyone to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Incoming correspondence.
A couple of thank you letters from Deborah to Gardner, maybe not gardeners, but people for donations to the garden. We finally got the February National Grid bill, which was $10, and the March National Grid bill, which was also $10. It's been like $10 for 4 months in a row. I'm assuming that National Grid is just like estimating it, and we're gonna get it later with something, because I don't know. And then, which I was reporting before, there was a $150 deposit to the donation account and a $75 deposit to the donation account this month. So those were accounted for.
Were those just out and out donations and not necessarily from people who?
I think a
took
bunch
on
of those
garden plots?
were the out-of-town gardeners, right?
The first one was, there was a $100 donation from a
Very good.
resident in town.
Wow.
Without wanting a plot in the garden.
Yeah.
And then the other was the out-of-town gardeners. They're not supposed to send a check, but they don't always read the fine print, so they had sent a check, and I just said, I'm gonna hold it until we get to the point where we're making assignments, and they will all have a plot in the garden, so I just cashed their checks. I didn't wanna hold them any longer, because I've had them since like January,
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, and then emails.
There was really only one from the select board. There was very little activity, even with newsletter stuff. There was only like 3 of them. But the select board is inviting us to present the summaries for the warrant articles and field questions from people during a coffee talk on Thursday, 4/20 at 7:30 on Zoom. I don't know if we have anything that we need to do with that, but we should know about it anyway. You probably already know about it, right?
Yeah, I have to see if I can make it. Because the only thing that we have going on is the fencing thing, as far as I know.
Yeah, I think it's just that on the warrant.
Yeah, but I'll have to look at my schedule. But that was on my calendar.
Yeah, I think this Zoom meeting starts at 6:30.
That's
yeah.
what I had, yeah.
Yeah.
Did I not say that?
May have said 7.
Oh.
And I could talk to you ahead of time, James, and I mean, I know a chunk about it after reading some of the minutes, other stuff, and so if someone can't make it,
All right, yeah.
I don't expect that to be the most controversial thing we talk about.
Exactly.
At,
Yeah.
coffee talk.
Yeah. You got that
Anyway,
right.
we live the day that a fence around a community garden is the
What-
most controversial thing.
Wouldn't it be wonderful? But
Well, I just got my warrant today, so I don't know, I haven't even read it yet. I picked it up right before the meeting. And that, I think that was it for
That's it?
email, yeah.
All right. In that case, we'll move on to unfinished business. The installation of the security cameras continues. Did you want to meet down there and I can show you what I have in mind, and then we can make sure it's not going to be in anyone's way? Tomorrow?
I'm leaving
All right.
on Thursday morning for a month.
I'm around all day tomorrow, so anytime.
Okay. Earlier in the day would be better for me if
All
that
right.
works for you.
Yeah, whatever
then later.
works. Yeah,
Okay.
cool. Is there a time that you want to just aim for an hour?
Well,
I-
you kind of sprung that on me, James.
I could get in touch with you tomorrow.
I have a detailed
Yeah.
list.
Yeah.
Things I have to do tomorrow.
I don't think it's necessary either. It's just going to
Well,
be tucked away in the back,
I'd
but
probably like to see what you're going to have a little trouble moving around in there right now.
I can climb on stuff.
Okay. The chiller is there now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did fix it.
Excellent.
As far as I know, I went in today and I could move that lever up and down.
Basically, it was an
Whether
adjustment, right?
Yeah, whether it moves, when it's turned on, I don't know.
Whether it actually goes.
I just know the lever works now, but.
Well, the lever wasn't working
let
the
me-
other day, so that's
Yeah,
progress.
shoot
Let
me an
me-
email if you want.
Yeah,
But
or I'll text
yeah,
you.
I can just send you a picture of what I have in mind. But
Okay.
yeah, cool. But I should be able to get down there this week. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see what's happening on the farm. But then community garden and fencing project. Is there anything else?
So I have really nothing new to add. We've been talking about this for several months now. Everything is in place. It's up to the voters now. I'll just mention, so you all are aware, that James and I had a session a couple of days ago where I gave him a file for a bunch of stuff I collected over the years, so he has that
Managed to get it into the trunk.
Still in the trunk?
You can't lift it out.
Yeah, and I also had 3 years of public records, because I hadn't been down here because of COVID, of course. And I also provided them with a detailed summary of the project to use at town meeting. May 1st is our opening day, and I barely made it here tonight, so I know on opening day, I'll probably be in bed by this time on opening day. So he has a document that outlines the project. I outlined some anticipated questions that he might receive from the floor, and provided him with some potential answers to that if he chooses to use it. So I think he's got his 6 guns loaded and ready for the town meeting for this warrant article. That's all I have to say on that.
And I'm sorry I can't be there to support you.
Uh-oh. Yeah,
I was hoping for a fall town meeting for this because I knew what was coming in the spring. I wasn't going to be able to be at the meeting.
Mhm.
So
I'm always torn on fall town meetings because there's some legwork.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I have asked. I put a thing out to all the gardeners to please try to attend to support it.
Yeah, I saw that. That was good. All right. Community garden registrations. I have that on there just from last time. but-
They were trickling in until last week. The cutoff date is on Saturday, the
Mhm.
15th, and once that happens, I have everything roughed out. We're totally full with a wait list.
Mhm.
And it's wait list for the raised beds, and which there are none of. And then there's a wait list for out-of-town gardeners, which will I've told them they will not, be able to have a plot this year because it's full.
Mhm.
So that last 20 by 20 is gone now?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah,
What's-
it's totally
excuse-
full.
Excuse me, what's the total number of gardeners?
There's 26 Berlin residents and out of town 12.
Hmm.
Almost all there's I just did the broken up ones today. The majority of the plots are 20 by 20s. I think there's 3 10 by 10s and 8, 10 by 20s, 3 10 by 20s and 5 or 6 10 by 10s. So the total number of numbers that I actually put out, if that's what you're asking me, was 38.
Very good. Thank you.
Cool. And the additional raised beds.
Yeah, it's been purchased. My husband drilled the holes in the bottom the other day. It's all ready to go. We went down to do the leveling of the land and it was really bad, so we tarped it for now, hoping that the sun over the next couple weeks is gonna kill off the grass. And we were trying to dig it out and it was just ridiculous trying to get it out. So we're hoping it'll kill it enough that we can, hack it out and get it pretty level to put it in. So the plan is when I get back in mid-May, we're gonna put that bed in the day after I get back. We're gonna take the soil from the bed that's next to it, that's on the ground, put it in that bed, and then we're gonna lift that other one up, because I bought the timbers and everything to raise both of them. But one of them is already down at ground level like this, and we wanna get it
They're
up to
full,
the higher
yeah.
level, which we thought was a really good way of doing it, and I've sent an email to that gardener and said that not to plant anything in it until the middle of May when we lift it up.
All right. In that case, I have a new business, just compost and loan for the community garden.
Yes, yeah, because I wanted to talk to you about that. When we can get it down there. It's not an emergency. I did write notes to myself. So sometime between May 1st and May 15th,
Sure.
we can get it down there, and we had $600 budgeted for that, so however many yards we can get for the 600
All right.
of the compost. In anticipation of the fence passing and going in, what would you recommend, Carl, where we would dump the compost this year? Because you don't really want to
Yeah.
put it on the other side. Last year we dumped
Yeah.
a load on either side, but if that fence goes in and we really don't want to use the double gates on the ends,
So I'm gonna answer your question by asking you a question.
okay?
When-
I'm used to that.
When you were down there with the contractor,
Mhm.
I don't know, probably 3 years ago now, I guess it
Mhm.
is. Do you recall where he was citing the specific line for the fencing?
The line across the front is basically in line with the existing fence, but continuing out
Okay.
till it's past the wellhead.
Okay, so couldn't we, that being the case, then couldn't we put this compost out towards the street? And to this side?
Next to where the chips are?
Yeah, I think that would be adequate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
And-
yes, and just
and
one,
speaking of that, there's one very important thing. If this fencing project gets approved at town meeting, one of the requirements will be that will have to offer a on-site visit, and you and I had discussed, it'll be necessary that we take the quote that we got from the contractor and his schematic and all the footage and everything, lay that out and put stakes in the four corners so that the other people who will be bidding the job have approximate
Okay.
idea of where, what they have to bid. We set forth a minimum of 622 linear feet of fencing, but they'll need some guidance as to where we want the gates and the actual fence, so.
Okay, so how close to town meeting does that have to be done?
No, not to town meeting, after the town meeting.
Right, that's what I mean. Once it's voted on, how soon does it go out?
I would coordinate that with our administrator. We probably ought to set those stakes out before the RFQ goes out on the street, just to make sure that we have it in place in time.
Yeah, no, the reason I'm asking is I get back on the 13th of May.
No, that shouldn't be a problem.
So it would be okay, I can do
Yeah.
that when I get back?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I
would
could
think so.
ask one of the
No,
gardeners to do
no,
it if
no, I don't think
need be.
I don't think that's necessary.
Okay,
Again, there ought to be some coordination with the town administrator, because she's basically set to go.
okay.
I don't know what her exact lead time will be right after the town meeting, and there was some question as to whether the funding becomes available instantaneously, or do we have to wait for somebody to do something administratively to identify the money. So there's some time there, but we certainly want to get the request for quote out as soon as we can after the town meeting.
All right. I can do that. And then we were looking for a loam delivery, 5 yards. And that can be delivered the same time as the compost or a little bit later.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now, that loan is for the raised beds and everything, right?
Yeah,
So you
so-
probably want that on the other side, I would
Yeah,
think.
it should be over, that won't matter with the fencing,
No.
because that would be encased in the fencing
Right.
if it went up. So, on the other side of the shed, beyond where we're putting 2 more beds beyond where the beds are already set, heading towards the brook.
Okay.
So if you put it, trying to give you, I know right now we have the black plastic there.
Right.
And we have some of the compost that we've wrapped up into a tarp to keep it, so beyond that, I guess.
Okay.
If I can get over there tomorrow and put a stake in the ground, I will.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Because I know who he's going to pass this off to.
All right, so I will,
What you talking?
I do have to go over there tomorrow. Yes, I do have to go over there.
Maybe 2
tomorrow.
stakes, one for the compost and one for the.
Okay, so the compost can just be like next to where
The
the
chips.
wood chips are, to
Okay,
the
all right.
street side of where the wood chips are, the new pile. Because there's an old pile on the other side, so it's the bright wood chips on
Oh,
the
okay.
shed side.
Okay.
So if you put that towards the street there, and then I will put a stake, 2 stakes. Do you want to cross?
Whatever. X
where we
marks the
want-
spot.
Where we want the load of loam. Okay, I can do that. We have a killdeer nesting again. She has chosen a little bit further back. She's got 2 eggs in the nest. Saw her again today. It's kind of fun. I've told the gardeners whose garden they're gonna be where she is so that they can enjoy that process.
All right, I think that's everything on the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, may I have the floor?
Sure.
Thank you. So as you all know, we don't meet in the month of May, so this is going to be my last meeting. I just want to thank you all for your help over the years, much appreciated, and for your friendship. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
we thank you very much. So you can't leave. Did we adjourn?
We have not adjourned yet.
We have a
I
motion to
move we
adjourn.
adjourn so we can have some fun.
Second? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.